All right, so parents, let me ask you, how do you feel about this, okay? Look at me right now as your kid's school principal, and each one of these your kids. Come on through, guys. All right, let's come a little faster. YouTube, all right? What's in your backpack? You keep looking for it. There we go. Facebook. We have Facebook in her backpack. What do we have in your backpack, my dear? Oh, a little Twitter. Fabulous. I've seen you on Twitter. Oh, and I know you're the Instagrammer. Yes, indeed. All those things, right, in your kid's backpack. I'm not just talking about the devices, but, you know, we look at them, we watch them. But what about schools looking at all the public posts and pictures and tweets and videos? I mean, someone like me, if I were a principal, basically spying on your kids. Now, I'm not the NSA. I'm a principal, remember? In Glendale, California, who is actually using a new eavesdropping program that needs no permission from you, the parent. I'm going to bring my panel in to talk about this because we have many moms, soon to be dad, but Julie, Christy, okay? I mean, we want to be a little creative in our presentation here, but we're talking about a program right now in Glendale where the school can look at all those public postings on behalf of those students. What about privacy laws?
Well,
does that even come into play?
Yeah, a little bit. If it's a private school, this is okay, I think, because they're allowed to do what they want to do in this respect. If it's a public school, it's a little different. Maybe somebody wants to make a federal case out of it. They could say it's a Fourth Amendment issue. You can't have unreasonable searches and seizures. This could be included, but here's the key. Are these pages public? Because if they are, they don't have an expectation of privacy. These kids don't.
All right, so we're talking Fourth Amendment, right?
Okay, that would be the challenge if they want to challenge it, if it's a public school.
All right, if a public school, what else? What else do you put down? What else is the
concern
here?
I mean, but then here's the thing. This goes away if it's public, if they have public pages, right? Public Twitter page, because they don't have an expectation of privacy.
Okay.
Because it's out there. I could read it. You could read it. So what's the expectation of privacy? Now your principal can read it. So that's the key for legally. Now, with parents, it's a totally different situation.
Do the students know they're being monitored? That's the question I want to ask. Did the schools say...
Oh, yeah. They let everybody know.
All right.
They let everybody know, but they don't need permission. They're saying, hey, parents, hey, students, we're going to be looking at all this, but we don't need your permit. We don't need your permission.
And in many ways, they might not. Think of it this way. A principal logging onto a kid's Twitter, not logging onto the account, looking at their account on the web. I could do it. The principal can do it. There's not a problem there. If it's a private page, it can be a little bit different. So if it's a private Facebook page, that's why I would say if parents like this program, they would need to do something very critical. Make sure their kids don't have private pages. Make sure their page is a little bit public so that schools can have the ability to monitor this kind of conduct.
So let me ask you ladies as a parent, right? Because I can't even keep up with my own social media. So the school is saying we want to look out for maybe thoughts of suicide, cyberbullying, threats, right? Some type of violence. I'm cool with it. Hey, school, you want to step in and be an extra set of eyes? I'm all right.
I really agree with you there. And I just looked up school shootings in the U.S. this year. I can't even get through how many school shootings there were, high school shootings. Look, the page just goes on and on. So any ways to keep our kids safe, that's what, as a parent, I am okay with that. I know it feels a little big brother-ish, but we go to so many extremes to keep our kids safe.
Well, and as a parent, I can watch my own kid, but I can't watch their friends. I can't watch all the other people at school that I don't know. And there may be, you know, certain kids at schools that maybe the administration would know about and say, okay, let's just kind of watch what they're doing online. I wouldn't know that. And when we talk about kids being safe, it's not just about us watching our own kids. We don't know what's going on around them the way that I would hope school administrators would.
Think of all the school shootings, right? Think of all the violence that has happened around our country. And a lot of it, we report the second part, well, you should have seen the manifesto online. You should have seen the postings on Facebook. You should have seen... Right.
And so that's why the key here is school safety. So schools can do it if they're monitoring safety, if they're trying to monitor bullying or drug abuse or something like that. They're allowed to do it. Of course, there could be a challenge to that, but for now, they're allowed to do it. The issue is, can they do it for other reasons? And that's why, parents out there, you need to talk to the schools about the plan. How many times do we say we just can't let parents can't just let schools say, we've got a plan, let's do it. You got to talk to them and ask what the procedure is, because what they can do is, I say it's okay to monitor for shootings, manifestos, things like that. Bullying. But Susie dumped Bobby, and now she's dating somebody else, and the school's looking at that.
Like
no
private scoop. Not fair. All right, so if you think your kid isn't cyberbullying, making threats online, or posting about suicide, this is going to be a bit of a wake-up call. Our social media producer found all of that on Twitter today. posted by your teen. Listen to this one, quote, "It's the 5th day of school and I want to take a knife tomorrow." Ryan, how do you know, though, if that's just someone seeking attention, if that's a real threat? Do you call the cops no
I
matter
don't
what?
know, but I assume it is. I call the cops immediately. Do not take chances. Not in today's world. You cannot take a chance. You see that posting, you call the police. And I know some people say, well, I just called my school. That might not be fast enough. We see how some of these things happen in school. I don't want to be alarmist, but I'm just saying I think everybody should treat it as if this is a crime. If somebody said that to me in an office setting, I would call the police. I wouldn't just contact my supervisor.
So if I see that on my 14-year-old daughter's account, I assume the worst, right?
I would.
Assume the worst, call the
would.
police.
How about this one? This tweet said, quote, "If I died, no one would care. I'm being honest right now."
That is heartbreaking.
Well, and I kind of feel like, okay, we can only monitor so much, so I'm all right with the school monitoring, students, or at least my kids' tweets, Facebook. If you see something like that, the last thing you want to feel is responsible for someone's death.
And these are children. Sometimes we get caught up in this thing of, oh, we have to give our kids space. I get that. But they're children. They look to us for guidance. So if they put something like that out there, we have to do something to step in to help.
And does that not sound like a cry for help? That sounds like somebody who really
It
does
does.
need help. And that was something we actually found. We're not making that up. That was online today.
So how do we feel about just this discussion, all of us at home and here thinking, wow, this creates discussion, whether it's my kid's tweet or not, this creates a discussion for me at home as a parent.
Oh, yeah.
I think an older generation would have said, that's just not our business. Honey, we just need to stay out of their business. And I think
You
this
can
new-
tell Julie's from the South. You can tell.
We need to stay out of it.
Yes.
But I think a newer generation, and we're saying, no, it is our business. It is our responsibility to be proactive.
Right.
And this is the way kids speak out now. Remember, that's another part with the generation gap. We assume kids are going to say something to people. No, they're speaking out online.
Right.
That's why we have to monitor it.
They don't go to parents, they go to the internet
Right.
a lot of times.
Well, and I think kids have to be watching this as well.
Yeah.
Our teens, need to be proactive, not just all of us in the schools,
Absolutely.
right? Let
Oh,
mom
yes.
know. Let mom know if you see something.
Amen.
Right.